Share with the class. All right, let's listen to what Ian said, guys.
I think it means a good one to join the crew.
Okay, so Ian thinks it means a good one to join the crew. What do you guys think about that? A good one?
In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use your ClearTouch panel for video conferencing for integrated collaborative instruction. Specifically, we're going to look at using the Zoom platform with the Snowflake software that is already installed on your ClearTouch panel. This gives you infinite options on how and what you're sharing with your students. First, we need to make sure that Zoom is downloaded on your ClearTouch. If you've not previously installed the Zoom client, you can visit zoom.us/download. Now, let's start a Zoom meeting. Okay, so now we've started our Zoom meeting. Let's go ahead. I'm going to open Snowflake Multi-Teach, which is in the shape of a hexagon. Okay, so now once I'm in Snowflake, I have lots of options. But today I want us to focus on our zones feature, which will allow us to split our screen and use multiple applications at the same time. So when I am under tools, I have an option in the middle that says zones. I can also click on the bottom, either one of the bottom corners here, and also get an option to view my zones. I'm going to go ahead and click on zones, and I have a few options. So I can have one single zone, 2 zones, 4 zones. If I click this plus sign, I also have additional zone options. So I could do 3 different variations and different patterns. I'm going to start with a really simple split screen 2 zone option. Okay, so now in this zone, let's open an example. So for example, if I were to have the story we're going to read today, we're going to listen to this story, I'm going to play this for my kiddos that are in class and on Zoom.
What is 5 plus 3? We can solve the problem.
Okay, all right, so here is the story we're going to listen to. I'm going to go ahead and make that full screen. So this is one half of my screen. On the other side, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open Canvas. And on Canvas, I'm going to go ahead and grab a picture. And here's my Venn diagram. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on that and lock it in place. All right, so now this is a really easy activity you can see. Now, of course, I'm the only one currently on this Zoom call, but any of my students that were on the Zoom call would show up right here in this little window. And I can move this around as needed. I can also, I can hide it kind of way down here and get it out of the way, or I can make it a little more prominent on the screen so I can see those students as needed. So this is a really simple option. It's really great. As I play this story, anyone who's on this Zoom call can hear as I'm playing, and they can hear us talking as well. And then we can, be filling out our Venn diagram on this side. All right, so this is one potential option, but there are tons. I want to show you really quickly another great tool, which is if we click on any of these little kind of horseshoe looking symbols at the bottom here, we have an option that says adjust zones. So on our adjust zones, this just lets us click and drag if we need one of our zones to be larger than the other. We can do that, and then just hit save whenever we're ready to lock that in place. So if you need one of your zones to take up more space, you can absolutely do that. Okay, let's look at a couple more examples. So I'm going to click here in the corner again, and I'm going to close this app. At any point whenever we need to get back, if we click on zones again and then click this single zone, it will take us back to just one zone. All right, so let's do another example. All right, so in this example, I'm going to click on zones, and I'm going to try 3 zones this time. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to use Canvas on one, I am going to open some virtual math manipulatives in another zone. So here's my base 10 blocks. And then up here, I'm going to do something a little fun. I'm going to open my lesson activities. And I am going to grab my little spinner wheel here that has all of my student names on it. So now this is a really fun, great interactive way to involve my students in class and my virtual students. I can move my virtual kiddos wherever I need to on my screen. They can see everything that we're doing here. I can easily spin this little wheel, decide who I'm going to call on next. We can interact with our virtual manipulatives here, and then we can write on our canvas right here. And then of course we can use that adjust zones option to readjust our zone sizes as needed. Okay, let's do one more example. I'm going to go back to zones, and this time I am going to do 2 zones. And close out of these apps. And this time, let's take a look at, I'm going to pull up a picture for science. Okay, so here's a picture I want my students to look at for science, and we're going to talk about habitats, and we're going to talk about the animals that might live in this habitat. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to change. Let's do 3 zones instead. All right, so over here, I'm going to open Canvas, and I'm also going to use this nodes option. And now I'm going to adjust my zones. I want us to have a little bit more space to brainstorm. Let's save that. All right. Okay, so now we have our picture here. So we can be talking about this habitat and the types of animals that live in this habitat. We might be making a list up here, jotting down ideas of animals that might live there and their needs. And then over here, we can use this nodes tool to build our potential food web for that habitat. All right, just for fun, let's do one more. I'm going to quickly go back to one zone. I'm going to close out of the app here, and let's do one more. And for this one, I am going to do 2. On this side, I am going to open Canvas. And I'm also going to open, on this side, a lesson activity that I have for the Civil War. Okay, and on this side I'm going to grab, since this is our Canvas side, I'm going to go ahead and grab something I want us to look at. So I had saved this Civil War map. I can drag and adjust it as I need to, and then I can click on it to lock it in place. Right, I have my drawing tools here at the bottom, so I can draw on top of this. I can annotate anywhere on the screen. And then on this side, I have this really cool timeline activity that I have in my lesson activity. So as we're talking, we can be working to create this timeline together. Now at any point, I can of course use that adjust zones option to readjust the size of my zones. And then I also have this swap zone option. So if I ever need to swap my zones around, I can easily switch my screen and adjust my zones as needed.
The Zones tool is a fantastic resource in any learning environment, but now we have the added benefit of using it with our video conferencing tools. And that allows for infinite combinations of resources that are applicable to any age and any content area. So I can't wait to see the awesome things that LDISD teachers are going to do with this resource. And thanks for watching.